A day in the life of a YouTube filmer. I want to take you behind the scenes and give you an insight to what it's really like to be a YouTube filmer. From setting up to filming in public. What are the steps to make a YouTube video? And are there any secrets behind the camera? Let's find out. My day usually starts at 9 AM. I get ready, pack my bags, and get on the train to central London. After about 45 minutes, I meet up with Dylan, who is a YouTuber I help film for.
That is China.
No.
Way off. Way off. From that department, run. Run. You heard it here first, guys.
That's not bad. That's close. That's close.
I help film his public interview videos and have been doing so for a few months now, but I'll get into more of that in a bit. Now, to make the day as efficient as possible so that we get the most done for the amount of time spent, we actually divide the day into 4 phases. So let's go through phase 1. This is the preparation phase. We usually go somewhere chill, grab a coffee, and run through the key objectives for the day. This can be things like looking over the script, the video plan, going over shots we'd like to take, knowing which locations we want to film in, how much time we want to spend shooting a particular segment, previous analytics. You get the point. I think it's crucial to go over the plan before you start shooting because it refreshes your memory and it's also an excuse for me to get a latte. Now, next up is phase 2. Which is the biggest of the lot. It's the main filming segment. Now mostly I help out with the public interview videos and a lot of time is required, but it is the bulk of the video and you just have to crack on. We make sure to film the intro, the interviews and any moments in between.
We just convinced Dill to hop on the back and be the controller of our boat, but he wasn't very confident.
No, I'm definitely not confident, that's not the right word.
Alright. So basically, Dill, I'm going to flip the switch, right? Because for me, I want to find out about your perspective when we film, right? So for those of you that don't know, Dill films, I ask questions. But sometimes questions go wrong, it can be pretty awkward. I feel awkward in those moments. Do you feel awkward as a filmer when it goes badly for me?
As a filmer, I don't think so. I think you, to be fair, it just depends on who you're working with, but you seem to conduct it quite well. Sometimes we obviously face a lot of rejections and that can be awkward for both of us. But in reality, I think if it's just normal awkward kind of situation, you seem to handle it pretty well.
Yeah, handle it well. And you don't feel that second-hand embarrassment?
No, I don't think so. Nah, it's not that bad, to be fair.
You NPC it as well. For you, yeah, when you're obviously filming with me, collaborative, like, do you get a buzz out of the filming, or what made you want to get into being a videographer, especially for YouTube?
I've always loved YouTube, man. I've been watching it for basically I wouldn't say my whole life, but since I was really young. Personally, it's really quite fun when I see creators and then the kind of creative process that they go through, because to make a video takes a lot of time, a lot of effort and planning, and that's why I respect it. And to be part of that process is personally just quite rewarding for me. And I'm happy to just jump in with you whenever.
Creative process, let's go. And then I've got one more question. I find this quite interesting, right? Because I feel like people behind the scenes for a videographer might just think he holds up the camera and he films it. But to me as a YouTuber, right, when we meet up, we plan out what we're going to do, we look at retention, analytics, you give me some feedback, you give me advice, you do all this sort of stuff. So do you see your role just as a videographer when it comes to helping me with my content, or do you see it as a much bigger thing? Because to me, I feel like you're way more a part of the creative process than you probably know or get credit for.
First of all, thank you, but no, that's a good question. I think, when you think of a videographer, you just think person just holds up a camera. I get that, and that is a big part of the role, of course, and just being able to know what kind of shots you want to take. But we do tend to plan things out a lot, what kind of content we're gonna make this month. This is not sponsored at all, but we use Notion a lot, and Notion just helps you anything can really work, like Word, but it just helps you keep track on what your shots will look like, B-roll that you're gonna be taking, A-roll, how you're gonna plan out the specific day, because obviously, like I mentioned, it gets dark quickly. We've got to make sure we get a certain amount of shots done before it gets dark. There is a lot to it, definitely, but I think it's more like a joint collaboration with the YouTuber.
It's not just you guide me on how the length. There's it's so much more of a 50-50 than you probably realise when you just watch the video. So Dill, that's my interview of you, bro.
Nice
my
one,
guy.
Nice one. Let's go. Perfect. It's pretty straightforward, but for B-roll I try to get in as much footage as possible. And we may not use it all, but the more footage you have, the better selection you then get. This is also the same for thumbnails, but we do try and plan prior to shooting the video on what kind of thumbnails we might want to take. We also get a load of random ones during the filming day and any ideas that might just pop up into our heads. And finally, phase 4. This is when we wrap up everything. We just talk about the highlights and what went well during the filming day, but also we try and see what are the areas that we can potentially improve on for next time. And usually this is done over a meal. How me and Dylan met. As a filmer, I understand that it's quite hard to meet people that you want to work with, especially YouTubers.
100%.
It's really hard, especially like, I understand some people will be cold emailing, trying to get in contact, and not all the time you're going to get responses. For most of my editing roles, I've had to cold email.
What's your success rate like for cold emails?
Very
you have
low.
to go hard. You have to go hard with them.
Yeah, like I'd say if I was to write 100 emails, I'd probably get 3 responses. With filming, it was quite lucky, to be honest, how I met Dylan.
Bro, it was a sliding doors moment. That's like, in life you come across like sliding doors moments sometimes, which is stuff that happens by chance that turns out to be great fortune. And this is, for me as well, 100% a massive sliding doors moment.
So we have a mutual friend. It was that friend's birthday in June of last year. And Dylan opened the door and I was like, wait a minute, I know this guy.
You know, that's crazy, man. I honestly can't believe it. Like,
I think it was only kind of halfway into the party, really, because there's quite a lot of people. I managed to actually sit down and talk to you.
you connect straight away and you can tell straight away who's inside that niche space of content creation for YouTube.
Yeah.
We instantly knew that we both want it. Our aspirations for content creation, we could tell were aligned very, very soon on in the conversation. So it makes it easier to then build a base and like work together.
To be fair, it was a lucky moment. You're gonna get lucky moments in life anyway.
Act on them, bro. If you get a lucky moment, like, we wasn't passive afterwards. I don't even know how do we film our first video?
I think it was literally a week after we set a date and we just met up.
We just did it. Yeah,
We just did it. And then from there, kind of like built on. Luck is when opportunity meets preparation. So
Yeah.
if you're prepared to take the opportunity, then it can go a long way.
I like that. When opportunity meets
Preparation.
preparation, yeah.
If you're not
yeah.
prepared to take the opportunity, then it can go the other way. Yeah.
And since then, we've kind of been on like, my content's elevated. You've helped me massively. I've helped you film some content, i.e. today as well. It's a great partnership to have.
If someone wants to get into YouTube in 2023, what kind of advice would you personally give to them?
Yeah, it's interesting, man. I feel like it's so competitive nowadays to get onto YouTube and find your own niche and find a lane. Again, one thing that I learned a lot later down the content creation line is like, getting that first initial exposure is quite hard. So if I was like giving advice to people starting out on YouTube right now, I'd say you want to start by thinking about a sort of niche that you'll be in.
Yeah.
And then secondly, what tutorials can you pump out just to start with around that niche? If you want it to be a tech channel, don't just pump out tech reviews to start with. Pump out silly stuff like how to factory reset an iMac or how to do stuff, because that gives you a base for people to find your videos via the search. And once they find your videos via the search, your videos then get promoted on the homepage to other people. Your future videos get promoted to those same people that searched for your video before. So I say definitely create tutorial content to start with, but only as your very first fundamental foundation. And then I'd say just do it. Like just find out what content you want to make and do it.
It's about like, is it about creating how-to videos?
I'd actually say so. That's my like very niche thing that I would do if I was starting again. Get the ball rolling like as soon as you can. Just release something. Doesn't matter if it's good, bad, whatever it is, release it. Secondly, try and find a niche. And thirdly, put a bit of a footprint out there for your channel as well by doing tutorial videos. And that's like a really strong foundation for starting, I reckon. Yeah, 100%.
See what you mean? That's interesting.
Not many people say do tutorials. That's
I never hear that
That's like
advice,
my own thoughts, you know.
Because it's from your perspective and how you kind of establish. It does make sense, because if you do start putting more lifestyle related videos, it's quite difficult because not many people know who you are.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, why would they want to click on that video, if that makes sense? Whereas if you've put on some sort of like, given some sort of value to the viewer by, if it's a tutorial or how to, whatever, then they kind of make sense for them to be like, oh wait, I know this guy, I like this channel.
100%, 100%.
End of the day, I feel like it is a long game. YouTube is very long. It's not easy. It's tough.
Yeah.
Just what it is.
It is. But also, the good thing about it as well is like, you make a tutorial, right? Let's say tech related. People that watch that tech related tutorial are interested in tech. YouTube then knows who to promote your videos to.
Yeah.
So when you make a day in the life of like a computer scientist, for example, YouTube have got like a a base of people they can target for your new lifestyle video.
Yeah.
Which is why I think it's an interesting thing to do. I kind of, on my own journey, right, education became my niche, but I started out by making kind of tutorial videos, but by accident, so like exam revision tips, how to do better in your exams.
Yeah.
And whilst they're a mix of like tutorial videos, but with a bit of hybrid of lifestyle content, that is really what kind of put me on the search engine, put me on the map. And then from there, I was able to build. So it's kind of by like a bit of luck that I was doing like a hybrid of like tutorials.
Okay. I guess the YouTube algorithm or whatever knew like, this is who you're trying to target, this is who I want to push my content out to.
Exactly. Because I'll be like, exam tips for A-levels, right? Then when I made a video about going to university, YouTube would promote my video about going to university to all the people that previously watched my A-level stuff. Just popped off.
That's actually interesting. That's really good.
Wow.
Thanks for sharing that.
Everyone in my is looking like right now, like, what the heck are these two doing?
I know. I don't think I can do this by myself. I'm still learning. Top YouTubers, they can just whip out a camera and not have social anxiety. I swear to God, we get so many stares.
I just made eye contact with that guy. I was like, who's looking at us? And I turned around and make a direct eye contact.
That's what I mean. Like, there's eyes everywhere. But if you just feel like, the way I see it, it helps to have you right here. But if you think everyone's like an NPC,
Shield and Dill see it, now I can see him.
if you feel like everyone's an NPC, at the end of the day, no one's actually going to really care. They'll forget you in like 20 minutes.
Yeah. NPCing it's a valuable thing. Fine line.
So that was a day in the life of a YouTube filmer. After a full day of filming, we usually have a meal to wrap everything up and reflect on how the day went.
Give a like and subscribe down below.
Perfect, it's all done.
There you go, bro.
All good, man.
My freaking guy.
Especially throwing new ideas into the pot for the next video really has kept us driven. I'm relatively new into the filming world, and having met Dylan only 9 months ago, by complete luck, we really bonded quickly from our shared passion of creating content.
First morning, I'm actually so excited because I've never actually had a proper day of filming, especially as a YouTuber.
Gosh, Dill's the man, you know. Dill's been helping me film some stuff recently, make some public videos and that.
I'm very grateful for the opportunities he's given me, and I've visited some cool places so far, but I'm super excited for what's to come ahead.
What do we go black? Yeah.
One thing I really believe in is constantly pursuing to learn and improve on your craft. And with that mindset, our videos will only get better. Finally, thank you to you for making it this far in the video. I can't wait to show you what we have planned next. Perfect.
NPC that, bro.
Yeah, I know.